Good morning, students. This is session 2 of 8th Standard Social Science, History, 5th Unit, Educational Development in India. So, children, listen carefully to this session. In case of any doubts, make a note of it, which shall be clarified on the day of reopening. So, now let's enter into today's class. So, before seeing today's topic, in previous video, that is in previous class, we have seen the basic introduction of education and about the ancient education system. So, education is a continuous process of acquiring and sharing of knowledge, skills and values. And also, the concept of education might have been originated from the Vedas. So, education is a concept of acquiring knowledge, not only acquiring but also sharing the knowledge. So it is believed that the concept of education was taken from the Vedas. And we have seen about the sources of learning. So the major sources of learning like Aryabhata, Katyayana, Patanjali, and also the surgeons like Sushruta and Charaka. So, these are all the sources of learning in the ancient period. And also, we have seen about the Gurukula system. So, the ancient education system in India is a way of learning the life. In ancient India, both formal and informal education existed. That means formal means going to the guru's place and taking up the course, whereas informal means the guru will come to the house. So in ancient days, both way of education existed. So the ancient way of learning is called Gurukula system. So it is also known as Gurukula system. So in Gurukula system, the gurus and their students, so students are the Sishyas, they worked continuously together to become proficient in all aspects of learning. So in Gurukula system, both the gurus and Sishyas, they work together to learn the aspect of life. So the major subjects are the various disciplines such as history, logic, interpretation, architecture, polity, agriculture, trade and commerce, animal husbandry and archery were taught. So these are all the major field which were taught during the ancient period. So various disciplines like history, logic, interpretation, architecture, polity, agriculture, trade and commerce, animal husbandry and archery were taught in the ancient days. So not only that, they gave importance to physical education also and also for yoga. And once they completed their training in Gurukulas, they are promoted to higher studies. The higher studies are taken in the place like Viharas and Buddhist monasteries. So today we are going to see about education in medieval India. So far we have seen about education in ancient days. Now we are going to see about education development in medieval India. So as we have seen earlier, the medieval India is fully ruled by the Muslim rulers. So medieval period is fully ruled by the Delhi Sultans and the Mughal empires. So the Muslim education was prevalent in the medieval India. The medieval period witnessed a radical transformation with introduction of Muslim education in the Indian subcontinent. So as I said earlier, medieval period is fully ruled by the Muslim rulers. So it was started with the introduction of Muslim education in the Indian subcontinent. And also the country was invaded by various foreign rulers and several traders from different parts of the world. So during the medieval India, the country was invaded by foreign rulers and several traders from different parts of the world. And the trade people and the invaders, they brought with them their own cultures and intermingled with the people of the country. So because of the foreign invaders and the trade person, they brought their own cultures and they left behind in the country. So this is how the various cultures were practiced in India. And also, besides religion, society and culture, education in medieval India also experienced a new perspective. The main aim of education during the Muslim period, that is medieval period, was illumination and extension of knowledge. So, the main aim of education during the medieval period is to enlighten the people and to extend the knowledge and to create the knowledge among the people. Next is, in the 11th century, the Muslim rulers established elementary and secondary schools. So, for education purpose, various Muslim rulers in the 11th century, they established elementary and secondary schools. And also, education developed with a fresh aspect during that period as there was an excellent interaction between Indian and Islamic tradition. So, the education which was developed during the medieval period is a combination of both the Indian as well as the Muslim tradition. So, education is the combination of both the Muslim as well as the Indian traditions. And the Muslim rulers promoted urban education by bestowing libraries and literary societies. So, the various Muslim rulers, they promoted the education in the urban style. So, they promoted education in the urban style means a well-developed education by providing the libraries and other literary societies. So, the students were trained in various disciplines like theology, religion, philosophy, fine arts, paintings, architecture, mathematics, medicine and astronomy. And also, they founded a primary level school. The primary level school is called maktabs. So, primary level schools during the medieval period is called maktabs, in which the students learnt reading, writing and basic Islamic prayers. Okay. In the primary level schools, they learnt reading, writing the basic Islamic prayers. And next is the secondary level schools. So, which is higher than the primary. So, the secondary level schools are called madrasas. It were established to teach advanced language skills. Several madrasas were set up by the sultans and the nobles. So, secondary level schools are called madrasas, whereas primary level schools are called maktabs. In madrasas, highly advanced language skills are taught by the teachers. Next is, the main objective of these madrasas was to train and educate the scholars who would become eligible for the civil service. So, the main aim of establishing the madrasas is to train the people, is to train and educate the students who will end up in the civil service. And Iltutmish was the first ruler to establish a madrasas at Delhi during his rule. Gradually, many madrasas came into existence. So, Iltutmish was the first ruler or the first Delhi Sultanate to establish a madrasa. So, madrasa is the secondary level school which provides advanced teaching. So, he established madrasas at Delhi during his rule, and gradually after him, many madrasas came into existence during the medieval period. The system of education in medieval India was under the control of ulema. So, make a note of this, children. The system of education during the medieval India was under the control of ulema. So, ulema is a board of scholars. Okay, ulema is a board of scholars. So, the system of education was under the control of them. So, similarly, nowadays we have education minister, right? So, similarly, the system of education during the medieval India was under the control of ulema. Various subjects such as medicine, Arabic literature, grammar and philosophy were also taught. So, in the secondary level school or in the madrasas, various subjects such as medicine, Arabic literature, grammar and philosophy were taught. And also, history states that Arab and Central Asian people brought Muslim educational models to India in both the medieval and early modern period. So, from the history, we can get to know that the Arab people and the Central Asian people, they brought the Muslim education during the medieval period as well as during the early modern period. And also, women education in India was prevalent during the medieval period. So, they gave importance to women education also. And Raja Jai Singh, so he is Raja Jai Singh of Jaipur. He encouraged learning of scientific subjects. Besides, many institutions were started by private individuals as well. So, Raja Jai Singh of Jaipur, he encouraged the students to learn about the science. And also, many private institutions were started at Jaipur. Some example of madrasa is the Madrasa of Ghaziuddin. So, Madrasa of Ghaziuddin is located at Delhi. And also, the Madrasa of Maulana Sadruddin at Sajanabad. So, Madrasa of Maulana Sadruddin at Sajanabad is an example of secondary schools during the medieval period. And also, in the later medieval era, the British came to India and introduced English education. So, during the later medieval, that is the early modern period, the British came to India and they introduced English system of learning. So, with the coming of the European missionaries, the Western education made firm advances in the country and various universities and thousands of colleges were formed and popularity of education increased. The medieval period saw the founding of many religious mutt and monasteries which also took up the cause of education. So, during the medieval period, not only madrasas, many religious mutts or monasteries of different religions were established and their major role is to promote education. And one example of mutt is the Havabila mutt in Srirangam was one among them where Sri Ramanuja has made distinctive contribution to the cause of education. So, the Havabila mutt in Srirangam is an example of mutt during the medieval India. And also, besides mutts, Jain pallis and Buddhist viharas played a vital role in educating people wherever they existed. So, besides mutts, monasteries, madrasas, even Jain pallis and Buddhist viharas were established during the medieval period for the purpose of education. So, they had large libraries of books in all branches of learning. So, now let's see the modern system of education. So, now let's see the modern system of education. So far we have seen about the ancient system, medieval system. Now we are going to see about the modern system of education. The beginning of the modern system of Indian education can be traced to the efforts of the Christian missionaries who arrived in India in wake of European occupation. So, the beginning of modern system is started with Christian missionaries. So, the Christian missionaries, they arrived into India for trading purpose and then they started to spread their religion. So, as the result of their efforts, many institutions were established across India. So, as the result of the Christian missionaries, many institutions were established across India and these institutions, they imparted Western style of education. So, Western style of education means they imparted the education in English language. So, now let's see the role of Christian missionaries during the modern system of education. So, the Europeans came to India for trade and established trading companies. So, the Europeans arrived into India mainly for trading purpose Later they established the trading factories. And also they acquired land and constructed forts. So they acquired the land and constructed fort. Later they wanted to spread their culture and religion among the Indians. So once they came into India for trading purpose, they set up the fort, and later they wanted to spread their culture and religion among the Indians. So they started to spread their religion and culture. And also the Europeans thought they could make Indians understand the administration and religious theories better if they could impart education to the local population in their own method. So they thought that if they teach the principles in their method, it could reach the people. So they started educational institutions. And also the Portuguese were the first Europeans who started modern system of education in India. So the Portuguese were the first Europeans who started modern system of education in India. So make a note of this, children. Portuguese were the first. Among them, Francis Xavier. So Francis Xavier, a Jesuit, started a university at Cochin. They started many primary schools. So Francis Xavier is a Portuguese traveler. He started a university at Cochin and also many primary schools. And then the first college offering degrees on a completion of a course was started in Goa in 1575, where Christianity, logic, grammar and music were taught. So the first college to offer degree was set up at Goa in the year 1575, and the major subjects were Christianity, logic, grammar and music. Later, John Kirnander was one of the most zealous pioneers and was perhaps the first missionary in India to introduce education for non-Christian children as an evangelistic agency. So John Kirnander was the first person to start an education system for non-Christian students. And then in 1812, Dr. C.S. John established 20 free reading schools in Vancouver. So in 1812, C.S. John established 20 free reading schools at Vancouver. So Vancouver is also called Tharangampadi in Nagapattinam. Followed by the Portuguese, the French opened their institutions for all the Indians, where education was imparted by Indian teachers through local languages. So followed the Portuguese, the French, they started to impart their education in their local languages. They started higher secondary schools where French language was taught. So they even started the higher secondary school and the major language was French. Then among them, two German bishops named Ziegenbalg and Plucham started schools and a training college for teachers in Travancore. So among the French, two German bishops named Ziegenbalg and Plucham, they started schools and training college for teachers in Travancore. And then after the arrival of English East India Company in 1600 AD, so after the arrival of the British in 1600, institutions were established for imparting instructions in English. So once the British arrived, they started institution to impart English education. And then gradually Sanskrit colleges were opened in Madras and Benares. So followed them, Sanskrit colleges were opened in Madras and Benares. The first Bishop of Calcutta, the Reverend Dr. Middleton, started a missionary college at Calcutta. So the first Bishop of Calcutta is Reverend Dr. Middleton. So don't forget it, children. The first Bishop of Calcutta is Reverend Dr. Middleton. He started a missionary college at Calcutta. And this college is also called Bishop College of Calcutta. And also, Mount Stuart Elphinstone was actually a strong advocate of vernacular education. So, vernacular education means imparting education in their local language. But on his retirement in 1827, his admirers collected funds and established a college offering English classes named the Elphinstone College at Bombay. So, Mount Stuart Elphinstone, he imparted education in the local language. After his retirement, his followers, they collected fund and they started a college. So, that college is called Elphinstone College at Bombay. And also, due to the efforts, many institutions were established, and these institutions imparted Western education as well as Indian education during the modern period. So children, we have come to an end of today's session. So refer your textbook pages. Today's topic are covered from page number 49 to 50. So now it's time for questions. So let's see some evaluation questions. In case of any doubts, you can go through the whole session video once again, or else you can refer your textbook. So let's see the questions. First one, which European country were the first to start modern system of education in India? And next questions. Who is the first ruler to establish a madrasa at Delhi? Maktab means. Who started university at Cochin? Madrasa means. So children, try to answer all these questions in the notebook which you are maintaining for social science. So with this video, we have come to an end of today's session. In next class, we can see about education in British rule and also educational development of independent India. Thank you.